Good morning, guys. Welcome to Mug Briefing. One of the world's biggest investment banks is experimenting with a new kind of worker, not a human employee, but an AI agent designed to handle complex financial paperwork. In simple words, Goldman Sachs is building software that can perform back-office banking tasks on its own, and it's doing it with help from an artificial intelligence company called Anthropic. The project is still early, but it signals how quickly AI is moving from chatbots into the machinery of global finance. Here's what actually happened. According to CNBC and confirmed in Reuters reporting on February 6, 2026, Goldman Sachs has spent about 6 months working directly with Anthropic engineers to develop autonomous AI agents based on Anthropic's Claude models. These engineers were embedded with Goldman teams, meaning they worked inside the bank alongside its staff to build custom systems. Goldman's chief information officer, Marco Argenti, told CNBC the agents are intended to automate internal processes such as trade and transaction accounting, client due diligence, and client onboarding. He described the project as being in early stages and said Goldman expects to roll out the agents soon, but the bank did not publish a firm production timeline. Right now, this is best understood as advanced pilot testing, not a bank-wide replacement of systems. Goldman has not said the agents are fully deployed across the company. It has not published technical architecture, productivity numbers, or a count of how many workflows are already automated. The reporting describes high-level goals and early operational pilots. We also don't know the precise degree of autonomy. The term agent suggests software that can complete multi-step tasks with minimal supervision, but Goldman has not claimed these systems operate without human oversight. There is no announcement of layoffs tied to this project, and the bank framed the effort around productivity, not workforce reduction. Why is this happening now? Banking back offices are filled with rules-heavy, repetitive processes that are expensive to run and difficult to modernize. At the same time, AI systems have recently become much better at handling structured documents, compliance checks, and multi-step reasoning. That combination makes finance a prime target for automation experiments. There is also a competitive dimension. Large banks are racing to show they can use AI safely and efficiently because operational speed and cost control translate directly into market advantage. This looks less like a sudden disruption and more like the financial sector entering an AI arms race where no major institution wants to fall behind. This likely means Goldman is testing whether AI can take on some of the most tedious and technical parts of modern banking. The project is early, but it shows how quickly AI is moving from novelty to infrastructure. Finance is not handing control to machines. It is probing how far automation can go without breaking trust. And in a system built on precision and accountability, that experiment will shape how the next generation of banking work gets done. For Americans, the direct impact is subtle but meaningful. Institutional clients who work with Goldman could see faster onboarding and smoother transaction processing if the technology scales. Everyday retail banking customers may not notice immediate changes because this project focuses on internal infrastructure, not consumer apps. The labor implications are more long-term. Back-office finance workers may need to shift towards supervising AI systems, validating outputs, and managing exceptions. That suggests a skills transition rather than an overnight disappearance of jobs. Investors may view successful automation as a margin improvement strategy, only if the technology proves dependable. What happens next will depend on performance. Goldman will likely expand pilots gradually, measuring accuracy, speed, and audit trails before scaling. If the agents handle rule-based tasks reliably, other banks are expected to announce similar partnerships. Regulators are watching the entire industry's AI experiments, even though no specific rulemaking was announced alongside this project. Financial authorities tend to move once adoption reaches critical mass, especially if risk management questions arise. Anthropic, for its part, gains credibility from a flagship banking client, and competitors will try to match that enterprise footprint. It's important to understand what this does not mean. AI is not running Goldman Sachs. Humans are not being removed from oversight. Traditional banking software is not disappearing overnight. This is not full automation of finance. It is a controlled trial of AI tools inside a highly supervised environment. The bank remains responsible for every decision the system influences. The story would become more serious if measurable layoffs were directly tied to AI deployment, if a high-profile accounting error were blamed on an agent, or if regulators stepped in with emergency guidance. Those would signal that experimentation had crossed into systemic risk. For now, the key signals to watch are whether Goldman reports concrete productivity gains, whether other banks copy the model, and whether regulators begin speaking publicly about AI governance in finance. In essence, Goldman Sachs is testing whether artificial intelligence can take on some of the most tedious and technical parts of modern banking. The project is early, but it shows how quickly AI is moving from novelty to infrastructure. Finance is not handing control to machines. It is probing how far automation can go without breaking trust. And in a system built on precision and accountability, that experiment will shape how the next generation of banking work gets done.